Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday talk. I am interviewing a couple of wonderful franchise owners down in Arizona. And I say down because we're located here in Omaha, Nebraska. There are franchise owners in Arizona. So if you would please go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers.
Sure. So we're Brent and Andrea Morgan. And yes, we have one territory. We are in Gilbert, Arizona, and we became franchise owners halfway through 2023. So we're about 16 months in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And thank you for taking the time to do this today. I appreciate it. Let's start with what you guys did before you were right at home franchise owners.
I was before grad school, I worked for a lot of large companies, banks and mortgage companies, and didn't want to be in a big company. So ever since grad school, I just wanted to be in a small business, that small business environment where you get to see the same people every day. You get to know who they are. You get to know about their life and their kids, and that's the person I want to be. And so post grad school, it was a lot of CPG companies, consumer packaged goods. So I was in marketing and sales and management throughout that 6 to 8 year venture that I went on. And the whole time, probably the last 6 to 8 years, we've really been looking to open a franchise. We looked into, owning our own small business. It was a lot to do. There was a lot more risk involved. The franchise option gave us a mitigated risk option, which we enjoyed. And we went down the rabbit hole pretty far with a couple of franchises.
Okay.
And none of them really spoke to us like Right at Home did.
Okay.
And so I actually was a general manager of a Right at Home for 1 year in Columbus, Ohio, before we bought into the franchise. And I knew a couple months into that general management that this is what we were waiting for. This is what Andrew and I wanted to do.
Okay, so you said it, this Right at Home spoke to you. What was it specifically about Right at Home? Because that was going to be my next question. You've got a lot of franchise concepts to choose from. You have several home care franchises to choose from, but why specifically Right at Home? Why did it speak to you?
And we actually did, to the advice of another Right at Home owner, as we were doing, the discovery process. I talked to a couple of existing owners, and one of their advice was look at other home care agencies just
Yep.
in case. And we did. We looked at a couple of our competitors, and we went
Yep.
down the rabbit hole with them and
Yep.
had conversations with their, onboarding team. And really, as we were looking for franchises, we had a checklist, Andrew and I,
Mm-hmm.
where we could still be, family members. I could still be a dad, and she could still be a mom.
Which is my main job from the beginning, was raising our 5 kids. So
Yep.
Somewhere where our kids could be involved, in any degree that they wanted to be.
Sure.
And there was also a book I read. It's Franchising for Dummies. Fantastic book. And it just goes through all the things you'd expect it to, but there's a checklist on there too. And every franchise we looked at missed the mark one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And only until we started looking deeply into Right at Home did it check every box, our own personal box, as well as a well-written book that's, hey, this is what you want from your franchisor. This is
Yep.
what you want as a franchisee. And we went through that checklist, and it checked, again, every box on that list that we needed and wanted for ourselves.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so you guys have been in operations for give or take about a year and a half now
yeah.
at this
Yep.
point. Okay, so let's think back to the beginning. So you're a husband and wife team
Yes.
operating this business together. So let's think back to the very, very beginning when you first opened. How have things changed from that very first day to present day? So let's help paint the picture for me when you first opened your business. Some of the things that you learned, maybe what your rules were then,
Yeah.
and then let's fast forward to present day and kind of how things have
Absolutely.
changed. So walk me through that journey.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just us. And yes, he had experience, but I really hadn't had much experience. in like a corporate type world, but I was the marketer. I've never been a marketer before, but I'm good talking to people. So I was like, okay, here we go. And we moved to Arizona, so we knew no one, but we just kind of jumped in with both feet, you know. So I was the marketer. I did the billing and payroll. I did most of the scheduling at the beginning. We both did client intakes, both did warm handoffs, and then I filled shifts. And when we first got our first overnight client, we did not have an overnight caregiver. That was me. And so I did overnights, and then I would try and take a power nap and do my day job. And so it was at the beginning, it was a little crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, you know, we just hired our first FTE July. So several months ago, and she's a recruiter, and it's been fantastic to be able to find someone at corporate. Kind of gave us the guide to, this is what you want in your first hire. Now's the time to do it. And this is who you're looking for to fill that seat. And we found somebody that fills that role perfectly. And we were just so lucky to have her. Now, Andrea can focus more on the marketing. I can focus more on client intakes and visiting those top 10 clients that we have, so they get the personal touch from an owner. And we hope that continues. We're looking into actually hiring now a scheduler, because scheduling is getting out of control a little bit more than I can manage and still have a day job. And so we're looking for a scheduler, and we'll probably have a scheduler before the end of this month. So a team of 4.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. So what I heard was, when you first started, it was a lot of working in the business, kind of figuring out those roles and who does what. Yeah. You've really transitioned to, or you're getting there to, more so working on the business, making additional hires and kind of, you know, getting your feet on the ground and really getting to know the business and getting into more permanent roles. And that's just so great to hear. As your business grows, your staff will grow, roles will change. So that all sounds, and I love that you brought it up, Brent, that, you know, it was challenging when you first start and you own a business. You're an entrepreneur at something brand new that you've never done before, and, you know, everything's new. The help and support from the franchisor gives a lot of value, especially when you're starting up a business, which leads me to my next question. If you had to choose one or two of the your most favorite things about the support that you receive from the franchisor, what would you say would be the one or two most valuable things that we provide as a franchisor?
So I think this is the one thing that kind of stood out to us the most too from the very beginning, because we have worked with other corporate offices and other companies. There was support all along the way, even before we signed up. Again, he had his feet wet when it came to right at home.
Sure.
I didn't really know much, and I asked way too many questions, like even before we signed. And
such thing.
The corporate office was so willing to work with me and talk through things. I'm a worrier, and so I had now this, and this, and they were able to kind of like help me understand more what it looked like, what the future looked like. But again, we've had support all along the way. Onboarding, we had this wonderful team, and then our RightStart training, we just fell in love with those that worked with us on almost a daily basis. And then we had our RightStart coach afterwards, and then we moved to a business coach, and then there's always been someone there every phase as our level has grown. And I even got to go to home improvement, which for me was fun, but also so educational, because I got to sit down with other owners and ask more questions and learn more from them. And then I think that's probably the biggest thing, is there is such a huge support. And if there's anything that we don't understand, there's always someone. And like even now, like I'll reach back out to our RightStart coach and say, who should I ask about this? And she's like, yeah, no problem. And she just gets me to the right person. And so you're always there. Like, that's one of my favorite things, is you're never alone. So do you have anything?
Yeah. I mean, support from the beginning was just, again, phenomenal. Whenever we had questions, they may have been the same questions that other franchisees had. Maybe they were brand new because of our territory or licensure or whatever. But there was somebody at corporate who was a subject matter expert in everything. right?
Yep.
I monthly with our OMS, fantastic person. Just I can work as much as I want. I can send him blogs and we can do social media updates. Corporate does that for us too. And so there's always somebody there to do it, even
Yep.
if I don't have time that week to do something. I know something's getting posted online and we're
Yep.
moving each thing forward in an important way, even if I'm not directly involved. When we can't be. Now that we are stepping back from that day-to-day grind and we've got other people doing the day-to-day operation, we can step back and say, okay, right now we're now looking at being part of a performance group, which is fantastic. We've got our performance coach, and now we have this opportunity to engage with a corporate coach and a bunch of other owners on, okay, here's where you are now. Where do you want to be a year from now? Yeah. And how can we help you get there? And that's just, again, support all along the way. And now that we're growing into something amazing, we have support there too.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so the people that are watching this video are interested in joining the Right at Home system. So if you can offer just one piece of advice to someone who is looking into joining the Right at Home system, what would that be?
Do it.
Yep.
That's my one note.
I'd say do it. Do your research because this isn't for everybody, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. Do your homework and get a checklist. Create that checklist. Know what's expected, what franchise you're looking for, and how engaged you want to be. This isn't an absentee owner type franchise. You have to be engaged every step of the way.
Well, I think that makes a huge difference, though, too.
Absolutely.
And
For our
clients and caregivers that we are involved and they know who we are. And I think that sets us apart from other home care companies as well.
Yes. Yep.
Well,
if you're looking for a job where you can make a difference in the lives of people, where you can give back, if you have a heart for service, this is a great industry to be in. If you have a heart for helping people, hourly wage workers, and trying to improve the quality of their life, you have a great position and a great opportunity to be a mentor, to these caregivers and a helper for seniors and veterans and any other research organization or anything you're passionate about or engaged with, whether it be Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. This is a great industry to be in. You have the capability and eventually the resources to be able to make a difference in the people's lives.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. It's not just making an impact on the clients that you're providing services to. It's an impact in multiple ways. I often tell people, not only are you caring for the individuals who are receiving right at home care, but you're also caring for your caregivers. It's just as important to care for them. Create a culture and an environment where it's a place where they love to go to work and they love what they do and they feel valued and appreciated. And you guys do an absolutely wonderful job at that.
Well, I think that culture carries on up into our corporate office even. Like we were even mentioning, like we love that we still get like shout outs and you guys are kudos and congratulations.
Yes.
As we're trying our best and that gets noticed. And so you're never forgotten. And that's another thing that is important to point out. So.
Yes. Okay, awesome, you guys. This has been great. It's already been 15 minutes, so I'm going to wrap things up. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I appreciate you, and I know that our listeners do as well. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, you as well. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.